Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty crazy leaks when it comes to the PlayStation 6, the upcoming console going on. And this is kind of one of the crazier things to get to know because if you guys have been watching our channel, we've been seeing like these locally shipments when it comes to the PlayStation. We were assuming PlayStation 5 Pro or something else, but as well, we've also been seeing other leaked customs information. And now with this, we even have NDAs that have been broken where we actually have seen early game developers that have access to these consoles, to realize and utilize these consoles, are now actually showcasing up the actual information, the internal specs, the expected price points, release dates, and all that stuff when it comes to the upcoming PlayStation 6. Now, a lot of this stuff I really didn't fully believe when it first came on out, but a lot of stuff does seem like it makes sense, and as well, it would also make sense too because it's actually from a different region that's not the traditional usual Japan and United States, as well, where the NDAs actually may not be as strong. And of course, too, I'm sure you guys know it usually does take a few years to go out, basically optimize and utilize these consoles, so the fact that we're actually seeing this stuff coming out as of now is very neat to go and see. So we have a lot of stuff to go talk about for this one as well. And as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc, and especially the Xbox Series X console. Those are now currently in stock as well still. A lot of you guys have been picking them on up. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below, and the Weeble and Coinbase too as well. And let's go dive in the video. So as I mentioned, we've actually been seeing a lot of folks out there that are trying their best to go get their consoles. Now, when it comes to this stuff in general, we usually don't really expect a next generation console being so soon. Although it has been a year and a half, almost 2 years, of these consoles being out. And a lot of this initial leaks we were kind of assuming was the PlayStation 5 Pro. Although apparently other sources, especially up in now apparently Indian game developers, have actually leaked this, and they also broken their NDA, so broken the law to go and share this, that we actually had the PlayStation 6 apparently coming sooner rather than later. Now, as a reminder, all these basically future-proof things when it comes to consoles, when it comes to stuff, usually does have a very long time in terms of making and producing and testing this stuff, where we actually are usually expecting this to kind of last a while. Number one, you have to make the games, you have to test the systems, you have to make sure it's functional, but with how often nowadays even GPUs are updating, it does seem like we'll both be getting a PlayStation 6, as well as also PlayStation 5 Pro and Xbox Series X2, or Xbox Series X Pro, or next generation of that, probably way sooner than expected. As well, also with technology kind of bumping up more and more and more. I think a good example is every 1 to 2 years we'll get more GPUs, so it kind of seems like all these big companies are going to be formatting this. So we actually have an article over here from the Teal Mango talking about how the fact that the PlayStation 6 may have been officially leaked as of now by Sony themselves. So Sony launched PlayStation 5 in 2020, and it is still not available easily in markets. You guys can go and tell me, although we have been having some good restocks and also have some more we'll be talking about all throughout today. Despite that, it seems like Sony is already working on its PlayStation 6 console. Over these past few weeks, with loads of initial leaks coming out and some secret shipments, it seems like one of the early game developers as well have also decided to break their NDA and share more information on the upcoming PlayStation 6. Very intriguing to go and see. We only know for the fact as of right now, fully officially, that Sony has filed the trademark for the name, the development is going on, and the next PlayStation is definitely in the plans. Calculating from the previous cycles, we've also figured out the estimate for the release dates too on top of that. So as you guys are seeing, technology has been evolving rapidly, and the PlayStation 6 will absolutely stay updated. According to this, we have also figured out the features that the next PS5 6 could have, the specs and the changes from the PlayStation 5, and this is all from the leaks and other various NDAs. With this information we can see from the leaks as well, this, as I mentioned before, is all coming from India. Apparently some Indian devs actually had a chance to go and get the consoles and able to go and release all this information out as well. So basically they can see so far, the initial dev kits included that 3TB SSD M.2 hard drive. So basically they're trying their best to go and improve up the hard drive itself. As of right now, we actually don't really have the best and biggest hard drive, which would make a lot of big sense when it comes to the upcoming PlayStation 5 console, or when it comes to PlayStation 6 console. Mainly for this one because the PlayStation 5 only is actually having a big issue where they did go and improve and didn't include the internal socket to improve these consoles, obviously, but as of now, people even still having issues when it comes to their internal built-in console. So I think it's going to be a really nice upgrade for that one to go and see that there is their main baseline for that. They also don't want to go push for another 8K Blu-ray player, which also goes and pushes the fact that they want to be pushing for 8K graphics too as well. So It's always a big thing because it's kind of like that nice jump where it goes from like 1080 to 1040 or 144p. And then also jumping down to a 4K on top of that. And usually like it's kind of on the more higher end spectrum where basically you want to do it for sports or other various things. And then at some point it slowly becomes more and more and more affordable. And then with all of that too, that also utilizes a lot more fat. That's like just a lot more people have it, so it's more incentivized to want to go make stuff, say in 4K, and all that stuff put together usually goes pretty good. So it does seem like Sony's also going to be trying their best to leak and push into the future proofing of 8K graphics too as well, which would make a lot of sense too, as I'm sure you guys know. They also have a slightly higher hertz, both 16-core AMD CPU too as well, and a 15.5 teraflop GPU, and also 32 gigabytes of DDR7 RAM, which is apparently on the early unleaked also RAM socket slot. Which is also kind of crazy for all these leaks too, because apparently it's also including up the DDR7 too, which has also been just apparently been testing in the aftermarket, and it's just intriguing to go and see how big of massive upgrades the PlayStation 6 is going to be, especially in regards to the PlayStation 5 itself. Although we are still expecting a pre-mid-gen generation like a PS5 Pro, so I'm sure maybe the jump won't be as astronomically crazy as we're seeing. There's also, don't forget, a lot of these really big games take multiple years. Like we sometimes see like 5 to 8 year dev cycles, so as of right this second, we actually might be seeing like just the really early development of the next upcoming huge blockbuster games. Which is very nice to go and see on this one too, because when it comes to actual internals, I want one of those crazy games. I want games run that are looking like they're literally gonna make my whole entire computer go and explode. Same thing too as when it comes to my PS5. I want that thing melting and just how hot it runs because of how it just how much stuff they have to encode, how much stuff they have to animate, and everything else mixed in between. So basically the article goes on to state how the higher hard drive was noted due to the expected storage needed to operate upcoming games in the next few years. Bigger, better, and more efficient SSDs as well to help utilize fast loading times and bigger assets too, which obviously makes a lot of sense. Because, the more in depth the game itself actually gets, the better everything else is. And as well with also a larger 8K focus too to push more on the TV market, which I feel like we don't talk about as much on the channel itself, but it would make sense too because if you want to standardize the 8K TVs and try to make that more of a norm, it makes sense in the next 3 to 4 years that we'll be seeing even better internals and all when it comes to that stuff. So keep that in mind, and as well also when it comes to ray tracing too in the next generation optimizations for that, it'll make everything be running and feeling so much better. There's also a lot of the other various quality of life upgrades too you guys can go and see. It's also definitely putting this more towards the actual high-end PC side, and as well basically all the expected things based on analysts and stuff like that is expecting around a $700 range with all these internals, especially when you kind of go and adjust for all the price points of what's going to be expected for the future-proof technology. So kind of give me your thoughts and comments down below too as well. Especially it's kind of cool to go and see this entire article came out from April 2nd too. On top of that, basically because as you guys can tell, it's just more so from more an Indian-based side. So as of right now, it's already past the first two as well. So very cool to go and see with all their upcoming stuff. To go and I guess give us all these details. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. I'm very hyped up to see the PlayStation 6, especially as well sooner rather than later, and I can't wait to see more information on this and more leaks, and same thing too as well with the Xbox Series X too. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller, Twitter and Twitch stream as well down below. We got the Weeble, we got the Coinbase, we got all the sellout stuff, and as well, we'll see you guys later on throughout today for a bunch more videos. Love you guys.